Let's start here. Knowing gives you information. That is it. It tells you what is happening, it gives you language, it helps you name the problem. But structure is what helps you move. You can know your house is cluttered and still not have a cleaning routine. You can know you are exhausted and still not know what to stop saying yes to. You can know you need to pray more and still not have a time, place, or rhythm for prayer. You can know you are overwhelmed and still not know which area of your life needs attention first. And that is why so many women feel like, I know better, so why am I not doing better? Because knowing better does not automatically create capacity. Knowing better does not automatically give you discipline. It does not automatically organize your life. Knowing better does not automatically heal burnout. It does not build a plan. Girl, you can know the stove is hot and still keep touching it because you have not dealt with the pattern that keeps pulling you back to it. That is why this matters. We have to stop treating awareness like transformation. Awareness says, I see it. Transformation says, now what am I going to do with what I see? Here is the part we do not always want to admit. You can identify the problem and still stay stuck. You can say, I know I need boundaries, and still answer every call. You like, I need to rest. But you keep over functioning. And you may be like, I need to get my life together, and still keep moving through the day with no plan. Why are we not creating plans, right? You fail to plan to fail. There you go. Or you be like, I know this relationship is draining me, and still keep making excuses for it. You say, I know God is calling me higher, and still keep negotiating with comfort. That is not because you do not know. It is because knowing exposed the issue, but it did not replace the system. And a lot of us are trying to use emotion as a system. We wait until we feel motivated. We wait until we feel ready, feel confident, feel like ourselves again. But feelings are not always reliable project managers. Some days you will feel focused, you will feel overwhelmed. Some days you will feel spiritual. Some days you will feel like everybody needs to leave you alone before you turn into a biblical plague. So if your life is only moving when your emotions cooperate, that is not structure. That is survival with a cute planner. And no shade, because I love a cute planner, but the planner is not the plan if you are not using it to actually build a rhythm. This is one of the biggest differences I need women to understand. Sometimes you are not just tired, you are drained. Tired means your body needs rest. Drained means something is pulling you from you faster than you are being restored. And those are not the same thing. You can take a nap and still wake up drained, right? You go on vacation and still come back drained. You can have a quiet day and still feel heavy, because drain is not always about sleep. Sometimes drain is emotional, it is spiritual, it is relational. Sometimes drain is mental, and sometimes drain is because your life has too many open tabs and none of them are loading correctly. So when you say, I'm tired, I want you to pause and ask, am I tired or am I drained? Because tired may need rest. Drain may need boundaries. Drain may need a reset. Drain may need an honest conversation, less access, structure. And it may need you to stop being available for things God never assigned you. And this is where knowing is not enough, because a lot of women already know they are drained. They know the job is draining them. The home routine is off. They know that they have no quiet space or are pouring out constantly. They are always needed but rarely replenished. But knowing you are drained does not automatically restore you. You have to identify the drain, then decide what needs to change. No. Now, let's bring faith into this because this is where we have to be honest. Some of us are praying, but we are not building. We are asking God to change our lives while refusing to change our patterns. We are praying for peace, but still entertaining mess. For clarity, but avoiding the inventory. Discipline, but refusing structure. We are praying for a new season, but still managing the old one like it deserves permanent access. And I say this with love. Prayer is not a substitute for obedience. Prayer is where we receive instruction, strength, wisdom, correction, and covering. But after prayer, there is usually a next step. James 1:22 says to be doers of the word and not hearers only. That means at some point we cannot just keep hearing the truth. We have to respond to it. And I know that sounds simple, but that is where the real work starts. Because hearing the truth can feel emotional. Doing the truth requires surrender. Hearing the truth can make you cry. Doing the truth may require you to change your schedule. Hearing the truth can make you say, God, I receive it. Doing the truth may require you to apologize, cancel something, start something, stop something, organize something, or finally admit that what worked before is not working now. And that is why knowing is not enough. Because knowledge without obedience becomes frustration. You keep saying, I already know this. Okay, but are you living it? You know you need rest, but are you protecting it? Are you building structure? Are you enforcing your boundaries? Are you still trying to control everything, every outcome? Have you taken the first faithful step? Okay, this is why I teach the life inventory, because sometimes the problem is not that you do not know anything. The problem is that you know too much at once. You know your faith needs attention, right? Your routine needs attention. Your health needs attention. You know your home needs attention. Your finances need attention. What else we know? We know our emotional life needs attention, that our purpose needs attention. And because everything feels important, nothing gets prioritized. So you sit in overwhelm, and overwhelm will have you doing one of two things. You will either try to fix everything at once, burn out and quit, or you will do nothing because the pile looks too big. And that's what I do sometimes. That is why you need inventory. A life inventory helps you stop guessing. It helps you look at your life honestly and ask what is out of alignment, what is draining me, what needs structure, what needs prayer, what needs attention first. What is one faithful next step? Not 10 steps. One. Because many women are not stuck because they need a whole life or a whole new life by Friday. I keep saying this. They are just stuck because they need one clear next step and enough structure to follow through. Let's deal with the shame piece. Because when you know better, but you do not move, shame will try to creep in. It will say, you should be further. You should have fixed this already. You are too old to still be dealing with this. You keep saying you want better, but look at you. You are not disciplined. You are not spiritual enough. You are behind. That is condemnation. Conviction calls you forward. Condemnation tries to bury you. Conviction says, daughter, son, this needs attention. Condemnation says, you are the problem. Conviction gives correction with hope. Condemnation only gives accusation with no way forward. So when you realize knowing has not been enough, do not use that as another reason to beat yourself up. Use it as information. Say, okay, I see the gap now. I have awareness, but I need structure. I have the truth, but I need a plan. I have the desire, but I need accountability. That is maturity. That is not shame. That is stewardship. This is the part where we stop collecting revelation and start building resets. Because some of us have enough screenshots to write a sermon, but our routines are still raggedy. We have saved every quote. We have highlighted every scripture. We have watched every video. We have told ourselves that was for me. And it probably was. There's no lie there. But now what? What are you going to do with it? because another realization will not help if you have not responded to the last one. At some point, the next step is not more information. The next step is implementation. And implementation does not have to be like this big scene. A reset can be simple. A reset can look like choosing one area of your life to focus on this week. A reset can look like setting your prayer time for 10 minutes in the morning, or cleaning one counter, not the whole house. A reset can look like drinking your water before your coffee, or buying new things for your house one thing at a time, right? A reset can look like saying, I cannot commit to this right now. Having the honest conversation and asking for help. That's a big one. A reset can also look like writing down what is draining you and finally telling the truth. The reset is not about perfection, it is about faithful movement. So here's the question I want you to sit with. What do I already know that I have not obeyed, organized, or acted on? Let me say that again. What do I already know that I have not obeyed, organized, or acted on? Because that question will tell on you. And I do not mean that in a shameful way. I mean it will reveal what the gap is, or where the gap is. Maybe you know you need to forgive, but you have not processed the pain. You need to rest, but you have not removed anything from your schedule, right? Or you need to be more consistent, but you have not created a realistic routine. What's some more? You need to stop overextending, but you have not practiced saying no without explaining yourself into exhaustion. You keep hiding behind, I'm waiting on confirmation, when really you are scared to be seen. Girl, friend. Sometimes the confirmation is the fact that you cannot shake it. Sometimes the confirmation is the burden that keeps returning. It is the peace you feel when you imagine finally doing the thing. Sometimes the confirmation is the frustration you feel because you know you are living beneath what God has been showing you. So here's the question I want you to sit with. What do I already know that I have not obeyed, organized, or acted on? Let me say that again. What do I already know that I have not obeyed, organized, or acted on? Because that question will tell on you. And I do not mean that in a shameful way. I mean it will reveal what the gap is, or where the gap is. Maybe you know you need to forgive, but you have not processed the pain. You need to rest, but you have not removed anything from your schedule, right? Or you need to be more consistent, but you have not created a realistic routine. What's some more? You need to stop overextending, but you have not practiced saying no without explaining yourself into exhaustion. You keep hiding behind, I'm waiting on confirmation, when really you are scared to be seen. Girl, friend. Sometimes the confirmation is the fact that you cannot shake it. Sometimes the confirmation is the burden that keeps returning. It is the peace you feel when you imagine finally doing the thing. Sometimes the confirmation is the frustration you feel because you know you are living beneath what God has been showing you. Now let's make this practical. When you realize knowing is not enough, do not panic. Build a reset. Here's a simple way to start. First, name the area. Do not say, my whole life is a mess. That is too vague, and vague problems create vague prayers and vague plans. Name the area. Is it your faith, routine, peace, health, time, home, relationships? Is it your purpose? Second, name the drain. Ask yourself, what is pulling from me in this area? Is it a person, pattern, habit, lack of planning, lack of boundaries, fear and expectation, an old version of me I keep trying to carry? Third, name the structure. What would support me here? Not what would make me look productive, not what would impress people. What would actually support me? Do you need a morning rhythm, a weekly planning time, a bedtime boundary, cleaning routine, prayer schedule, meal plan, conversations, a support person, a calendar block, a smaller commitment. Fourth, name the next faithful step, not the whole staircase, one step. The next faithful step may be tonight I will write down what is draining me. Tonight I will do my videos. Tomorrow morning I will pray before checking my phone. This week I will choose one area to reset. Today I will send a message. Tonight I will prepare for tomorrow. This weekend I will complete the life inventory checklist. That is how we move from knowing to building. This is not about becoming a perfect woman with a perfect schedule or a perfect morning routine and a perfect home. No, because let's be real. Some of us have kids, husbands, work, ministry, military life, bills, appointments, laundry, emotions, and a nervous system that needs a meeting with Jesus and a snack. This is not about perfection. This is about stewardship. God does not need you to perform wellness. He wants you to account for what matters. And accounting for what matters means telling the truth about what is working, what is not working, what needs care, what needs correction. It means not ignoring your life until everything falls apart. Not waiting until burnout forces you to stop. It means not calling everything a spiritual attack when some of it is a lack of structure. Yes, pray. Absolutely pray. But after you pray, build. Pray and build. Pray and plan. Pray and set the boundary. Pray and organize the day. Pray and make the appointment. Pray and ask for help. Pray and stop pretending you can carry everything, because knowing is not enough. And I will keep repeating that. You need faith, structure, accountability. You need a reset you can live with. So let's bring this home. Knowing is not enough, because awareness alone does not create change. Knowing it's not enough because identifying the problem does not automatically build the solution, right? We also talked about that being tired and being drained require different responses. Knowing it's not enough because faith requires movement, and conviction should lead to action, not shame, right? We also discussed that your life needs structure, not just more saved posts. And knowing is not enough because God did not reveal it to you just so you could sit there and feel bad about it. He revealed it so you could respond. So today, I do not want you to ask, what do I know? I want you to ask, what am I going to do with what I know? Because that is where the shift starts. And if this video met you right where you are, your next step is not to overthink it. Start with the life inventory checklist. The checklist will help you look at the key areas of your life and identify what needs attention, prayer, structure, or a reset. And after that, if you need deeper guidance, the life inventory audit is the next step. That is where we stop guessing, identify the gaps, and build one faithful next step you can actually move with. Because, girlfriend, we are not just knowing over here. We are accounting for what matters. We are praying. We are building. We are telling the truth. And we are moving with structure. So, comment below. I'm ready to build the reset. And before you leave, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe, share it, save it, whatever, with a woman who keeps saying, I know, but needs the loving reminder that knowing is not enough. I love you, girlfriend. Now go account for what matters.